Hi there, welcome to Kneppy Invest and welcome to November 11, 2024. This is one of those days I have absolutely no idea what's happened on the markets because I've been on the road I left Brisbane about 7 a.m. and arrived at my parents' place at 4 p.m. So that's about 8 hours on the road. I made 3 stops, took the dogs for a walk at Coffs Harbour, that sort of thing, had lunch. I decided to take my time, and now I get to have a look at what happened on the ASX today. I get to have a look at what interesting announcements have been released, and I have no idea. The only company that might have released something interesting today is Endeavour, and the only reason I say that is because that was the stock of the day on AusBiz, the core program. And the only reason I know that is because it pops up on my podcast, and I was listening to podcasts almost all the way in the car. And I don't think the dogs probably like that, although I don't think the dogs don't mind either way. Anyway, so just having a look at the market index, what happened today, and do see a bit of red, particularly resources, down at 2.83%. Tech had a pretty good day, up 0.8%. So what I'm going to do in today's video is, before we have a look at the ASX today, go through the best and worst performing sectors, indices and companies. I'm going to have a quick look, maybe not a quick look, I'm going to have a look at some of the announcements that were released today, because this is what I do every single morning. Now, this process is a little bit longer because companies don't release all their announcements at the one time. So this process can take maybe a few hours, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. And a lot of time when I am actually going through announcements, I'm doing other stuff because the announcements just come in drips and drabs. Okay, so this is CommSec's website, and I do like this platform. A few reasons I don't like the platform include it takes us sometimes it takes a while for announcements to actually upload. So this is a CommSec platform looking at company announcements, and I'm just filtering by market sensitivity. So at this point in time, only 366 events. So this covers market sensitive and market non-sensitive. I am assuming when I filter this down to market sensitive, we're going to have maybe 50 to 60. I don't think we're going to see a busy day on the ASX today. So let's have a look. Oh, 106, so a little bit more than I expected. But then again, look at some of these announcements. Distribution announcement, recapitalization completion and quotation reinstatement, chairman statement and CEO presentation. That's the sort of thing I do like because that's the AGM. However, small company, LIS Energy, response to ASX query. So a lot of announcements that I don't really care about. Trading holds. Sometimes I don't mind trading holds, but have a look at 10:52 a.m. Company called Cleanspace Holdings released a trading update. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Trading updates, profit upgrades, profit downgrades, because these are the most powerful types of announcements without doubt. So what I'm going to do is go back to the start of trading today. And the first announcement, price sensitive announcement, was released by New Zealand or NZME, and it's a profit guidance announcement. Exactly what I'm looking for. So let's have a look at New Zealand Me or NZME. I'm assuming this is a New Zealand-based company. And the whole reason I say that, without me knowing they are, I actually do know, is because of the time of the announcement. Because they're a little bit ahead of us, so their announcements are released a little bit earlier because more than likely they are also listed on the New Zealand Stock Exchange. Okay, so I always get a little bit excited about these sort of announcements because this could be a breakout. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for breakouts. So that's positive financial news leading to increased volume and the share price at least a 3-month, preferably 6-month high. Okay, now straight away, this is negative. Now, the title of the announcement is just profit guidance, but the title of the actual document is negative. Probably don't need to read anything else. New Zealand Me lowers financial year 24 guidance. So unless the market anticipated or expected this lowered guidance or these lowered financial numbers, the share price more than likely has fallen today. And let's see how much it has fallen. Only 0.53%. So a fairly muted reaction from the market. So this is telling me that the market sort of expected this. The other thing I like about these sort of announcements is reasoning why they've either lowered guidance or increased guidance. So they've just mentioned here, given the delayed economic recovery, advertising revenue was weaker than expected in September. So they're just blaming the economic state of the state of the economy. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Given the slower than expected recovery of market conditions, the resulting advertising revenue performance in the third quarter and New Zealand ME's anticipated full-year expense outlook, the company is reducing its guidance for EBITDA to be between 53 and 55 million. Previously, it was between 57 and 61 million. So again, this is a profit downgrade, but not much a reaction from the market. And let's have a quick look at the chart for New Zealand MEE. What was it? New Zealand NZM. And I would be shocked if the chart, I actually expected a little bit more of a negative chart, not a chart or share price going sideways almost. Anyway, not for me at this point in time. I'm preferring a profit upgrade and share price bouncing and moving into an uptrend or breaking out. So let's move on to any further announcements. News Corp released their SEC form, so some financial results there. So did Arcadium, but I'm pretty sure they released those last week, if I remember correctly. I don't really care about any sort of these drilling results, but some of these drilling results could have led to the share price rising, like Black Cat Syndicate up 6.54%. But I'm not a big expert in really reading drilling results, so I typically move on. I would say I'm an expert in reading profit upgrades. I think everyone is an expert in reading profit upgrades. There's no debate. A profit upgrade is positive, profit downgrade is negative. Sometimes you could get debate about drilling results. Okay, let's move on up. Now, I'm going through this fairly quickly. Usually I don't go through or do this process this quickly. Genesis Minerals, strong drill results support accelerated growth, up 4%. This company is pretty big, 2.53 billion market cap. Here we have another company revising guidance. Infomedia, revised revenue guidance range. Now, this could be an upgrade, downgrade, or just a narrowing of the range. It could be three things. So it actually could be positive, negative, or neutral. So let's have a look at Infomedia. This is a little bit of a bigger company. Actually, I won't have a look at the share price just yet. We'll see if this is negative or positive. So we've already had one negative one, but the share price didn't really react. So Infomedia. Previous guidance issued with the financial year 24 results was 144 to 154 million, with stable margins subject to an unchanged macroeconomic environment. Okay, updated revenue guidance is now 142 to 149 million. So this is a downgrade, a revenue downgrade, not quite a profit downgrade. So there's a possibility, even though the revenue has dropped or is expected to drop, profit could rise. They could increase their margins. I don't know. So let's have a look to see what they're talking about here. While the company is expected or still expects a stronger second half, changing macroeconomic conditions have contributed to a more conservative view around the ability to mitigate the impact of a customer churn event of approximately 4 million that occurred in October. There you go. The company expects margins to be stable as invests in its strengthened phase. So this is also a profit downgrade. So they've given that away with that last sentence. Well, actually, it's not the last sentence. The last sentence is attached is an updated presentation. Okay, so I'm assuming the share price has dropped on this 5%, 10%, 11.3%. This is what you do expect when you do see a bit of a downgrade. You usually will see the share price drop. Not always, but usually do. So let's have a look at the chart for Infomedia. Now, I'm more excited about profit upgrades because that's when you can see a breakout. But I also don't mind looking at these profit downgrades because if a company releases a few, you can see the share price of the company drop a fair bit. And then possibly the company becomes good value. The market sometimes overreacts. I haven't really done much research on Infomedia. And to be honest with you, the chart looks ugly right now. Share price has dropped a fair bit from $1.82 down to $1.30 within the last 2 months. So in fact, the share price had moved into a downtrend before they released this profit downgrade. Yeah, we'll say a profit and revenue downgrade. So Is this another sign that the market is quite savvy? The market knows what it's doing. The market was a little bit wary about this company. Share price had moved into a downtrend, and today the share price is at a long-term low. How long? Well, it's not that long. The last time share price was this level was back at the start of 2023. So it's only about almost 2 years ago. But anyway, if you look at this weekly chart, going back to 2019, share price not doing much at all. Anyway, let's move on. So probably Infomedia would have been in my top 5 stocks of the day, but that's also on the, what's the word? It's also dependent on what other interesting announcements have been released today. But Infomedia, this is sort of an announcement that could make it itself into the top 5 stocks of the day, which I'm not doing today, by the way. OneView Healthcare business update. This is a small company. This is definitely a sort of announcement I will release. A company has a market cap of something like $200 to $300 million. I don't understand why just yet. Let's see what they've talked about or talking about in this particular video. Cash receipts of this company have barely climbed, have barely grown. That's probably a better word, over the past few years. This is a presentation. So it's a long presentation, company overview. This is not what I expected. It's 47 pages long. Okay, I am not going to go through this. I expected some sort of 1-page, 2-page trading update. That's what I expected. I'm just going to have a quick look to see if the share price has budged. It hasn't. Okay, so let's move on. In fact, there was no trading today. Is this company in trading hold? Company must be in trading hold. Okay. Seek and XREF, talking about exclusivity period. So Seek wants to buy out XREF. Let's move on. HMC Capital. I've mentioned this company before a few weeks ago because it looks like they're getting into the data center area and acquisition of iSeek data center platform. Acquisition of iSeek and DigiCo platform update. Share price up 4%. Let's have a look at the chart for this company. This is definitely a good looking chart. This is a chart. This is actually the weekly chart. So daily chart, beautiful chart. So I probably should have bought on this little ripper of a day when they announced that acquisition of the data center. That was on the 25th of October. Share price then went sideways. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Nice little breakout. Well, it's not exactly a breakout. It's a continuation of the uptrend, but then the share price just goes sideways. Not a lot of selling, and then you have another good day like today. So definitely that could have been in my top 5 stocks of the day, dependent on other announcements that have been released. Liontown Resources, guidance. Okay, this is an interesting one. Liontown Resources have released some second half guidance. Is this in production? I'm assuming it's just production because they have no idea. Because if lithium prices go bananas, then they're going to be way below. Well, no, their profit or revenue is going to be way higher than their expectations. And on the flip side, if lithium falls, so this probably should be production guidance. I'm assuming that. Let's have a look. There's another longish announcement. I'm just having a quick look. Here we go, financial year 25 guidance. Now, this might not be any sort of upgrade or downgrade. This could be the initial guidance for financial year 25. They've got unit operating costs, A6, so all-in sustaining costs, total capital expenditure, concentrate produced sold. A full-year financial year 25 expect to process 2.3 million tonnes, at 1.2%. So this is a production guidance. Due to ramp up impacting the first half of the year, second half financial year 25 guidance provides a better representation of steady state. That's actually interesting. Also, a 5-year outlook. I do like this sort of thing. Whenever a company has any sort of outlook, any sort of future guidance, 5 years, 10 years, I do like that. They do have some interesting stuff here, although I'm going through this fairly quickly. Financial year 26 guidance will be provided in the normal course of quarter 4 financial year 25 reporting, but no specific numbers. Okay, so how the market react to this one? Let's have a look. And flat. So let's move on. Okay, Incitec Pivot released results today. There you go. Let's have a quick look at their results. And this would have been the top 5 stocks. Almost guarantee you that because this is results. So let's have a look. I'm assuming not much happening. Not a high quality company, in my opinion. This company does fertilizers. Do they still do the blasting stuff? I actually don't know. Oh, they were reported a loss. I would have liked a bit of a media release. They might have actually released a media release, but it's not market sensitive here. In fact, I should do that. Share price flat. So the market didn't really care about this particular announcement. I'm just going to see if they did release a media release. So typically they do, but in this case, Incitec Pivot didn't. So all we have is a presentation and the actual announcement. But again, according to this, profit, loss making. So there would have been some one-offs in this, I would assume. But the most important thing is the market didn't really care about it, so I'm not caring either. That's the main reason I would take a bit of a fancy to some results, is because the market could really like the results, and that's when you, on occasion, do see breakouts when a company releases results. In this case, no. Incitec Pivot. Chart actually doesn't look that bad. And the share price did get to a long-term high today. Chart doesn't look half bad. It's not the best looking chart, but daily chart. If you look at the weekly chart, not for me at all. So this is definitely not the sort of company you own for the long term, because if you owned Incitec Pivot over the last 16 years, you've made no money, just a bit of a dividend. So definitely, this is actually the sort of chart you expect from a non-high quality company. Share price doing absolutely nothing. And I would assume the company has not grown their revenue much at all over the past 16 years. And what else do we have here? Ooh, Silk Logistics looks like it's being bought out. So we would expect the share price to be up a fair bit, 40.82%. The share price had been under pressure. I would assume this is an opportunistic takeover, and I'd be furious if I was shareholders. Why are you selling out when the share price is significantly lower than when you IPO'd? So when they IPO'd, the share price was 250. Now it's I suppose it's not that significantly lower. What there? No. That's after the share price increasing today. Sorry. So when you list, the share price was 250, went down all the way down to $1.20. So share price halved, and all of a sudden there's a takeover bid. Opportunistic. The management should say, get lost to whoever's taken over this company. That's just my opinion. Anyway, so that's Silk Logistics. Zero Resources receive first disbursement from DFC loan. Share price down. Stockland upgrades financial year 25 guidance. Okay, so this is the sort of company I don't really care about, Stockland, but Stockland upgrades financial year 25 guidance. I just have to read this one because this is an upgrade, exactly what I'm looking for. Now, what are they upgrading? So they don't really tell us. They could be upgrading dividends, which I don't really care about. They could be upgrading capital expenditure. I don't know. So they should mention here, so their previous guidance, so funds from operations. I'm pretty sure FFO is funds from operation. And actually, that would make the most sense as a sort of metric, financial metric to upgrade or downgrade. So previous guidance for FFO per security between 32 and 33 cents. Now they expected it to be between 33 and 34 cents. It's an upgrade. It might be very small, but it's still an upgrade. It means the company is performing better than expected. So I would expect the share price to be up. So it's up 2.2%, which is fine for this sort of company, but not quite what I'm looking for. And just to confirm that, let's have a look at the chart. Well, I forgot to press. I have no idea how long this video is running. That's okay. Oh no, there it is, 19 minutes. The chart. So I put this horizontal dashed line, which is resistance level for Stockland Group at about $5.40. In actual fact, it fell. It sort of hit 540 and has pulled back slightly over the last few trading days. So overall, this chart is a big for me. This is a weekly chart, by the way, over the last 6 years. It's done nothing over a 6-year period. So all you're getting here from this company is some distributions or some dividends. I think pretty sure REITs called dividend distributions. Anyway, so this is what I'm looking for, but not the company, not quite the company I'm looking for. I'm looking to release a profit upgrade. Okay, Pexa. This is more what I'm. Oh yeah, OneView Healthcare did go into trading up. Pexa update. Financial year 25 guidance reaffirmed. Okay, so this is a neutral. Just saying, well, guidance, things are moving exactly how we thought. And so we're just going to reaffirm our guidance. Not a downgrade, not an upgrade. So I would assume the share price is down a little bit. That's fine. So even though this is the sort of announcement I'm looking for, an update and guidance, the very fact they have reaffirmed it, not an upgrade, downgrade, less keen. I'm less keen on these sort of announcements. Pexa is an interesting company, recently listed. They are moving into England, and if that is successful, this company I think is cheap at these levels. But a bit of an uptrend, broken last week. Let's move on. Yes, OneView. Oh, Qube Holdings. So this is going to be interesting. So this is an interesting one because I am trading Qube Holdings. So a bit of skin in the game for this one. Trading and business update. I was very close to selling this one. Let's see if that would have been a mistake or that would have been a good move. And the reason I was close to selling, the chart started to look a little bit more negative, and this company, in my opinion, is not good value. And I'm less, I suppose the best way to say it is I have less conviction on one of my trades if I think if the company is a little bit more expensive than it should be. Okay, so this is what I am just rubbing my hands. It's going to be good or bad, or it could be sideways, could be neutral. Let's have a look. Sometimes you can tell by the chart. I would actually say, without even looking at it, just based off how started to see a little bit of weakness in the share price in the chart, I think maybe the market was expecting things not going as well as maybe expected, and maybe this is a slightly negative announcement. Let's have a look. Okay. It started really good because they've used the word pleased, and in my opinion, this is just my opinion, management should only use the word pleased when they release something good. I have not seen all companies do that. I've seen some companies use the word pleased when they released a negative announcement, and I don't think that's a good thing. I think you have to know what words to use. So it started good here. Qube Holdings is pleased to provide a business update on its recent performance and outlook for financial year 25. Trading update. Based on audited management accounts, Qube has achieved pleasing, another pleasing, underlying financial results for the 4 months to 31st of October, with all markets performing broadly in line with or above Qube's internal expectations. Okay, that's all I'm going to have to read at this point in time. Yeah, actually, outlook. Okay, so I thought I did see something slightly negative there. This guidance reflects an expectation that the underlying NPATA will be slightly below the corresponding results in this first half financial year 24, largely due to the high interest rates cost. So the company's actually performing a little bit better than expected, but there's a little bit of negativity in that financial year 25 outlook. So I'm really interested to see how the share price has gone. I have no idea at this point. Let's have a look. Up slightly. So that's sort of, I'm understanding that. It is slightly positive, but there was little slightly negative stuff in that outlook. So, yeah, I can't complain. I would have preferred the share price to be up 50%, but it doesn't always happen like that. And now let's have a look at the chart. So why was I thinking of selling this? So the share price was in a nice uptrend up until, well, still an uptrend here. Now, we did have a bit of a dip towards the start of October, and I was expecting the share price to keep on going up from there. Dip, keep on going up. But when the opposite direction, it continued to drop. Hit a nice little support level, sort of my sell point at $3.65. And we have seen a little bit of bounce. Okay, so I'll give them this chart that we have seen a bounce off a support level. So if the share price fell below that level, I would have sold, but it did not. And that's why I did not sell. But that is a sort of announcement I am always looking for. Iris confirms filing of legal proceedings by ESS Super. That sounds negative. Share price down. Okay, so not that negative. What else? So drilling results. Endeavour Group. Okay, so here we go. So this is not a surprise. Endeavour Group, first quarter trading update. It was the stock of the day on Oz Business Call. So this is probably the only company I thought might have released something interesting today, and it's a trading update. Okay, so let's have a look at Endeavour Group. Based off the chart, I expect this probably or more likely to be a little bit negative than positive. That's just based off the chart, and I'll have a look at the chart in a second. So stable quarter one sales underpinned by resilient performance in hotels. And virtually revenue has not changed. It's up slightly. We'll say up slightly. They also have guided for operating EBIT margin between 7 and 7.5%. Nothing much to take from this. October trading and outlook. Anything in this? I'm sort of looking for words, any sort of sign of negative words. And they mention headwinds here. Cost of inflation remains a headwind. Level of Christmas bookings in our hotels is also encouraging. Positive sales momentum in hotels has continued in October. So there's some positives there, some negatives. So which way has share price moved? Let's have a look. Down 4.86%. So the market doesn't like it. And I think this is the most likely scenario just because of the chart. So why am I saying that? Now, it wasn't that long ago when I did have Endeavour Group on my watch list because it was starting to look, the chart started to look positive. And when I say starting to look positive, for a very brief moment, this was back in August, on the cusp of not breaking out, but moving into an uptrend. And then the company released their results, and the share price fell a fair bit on that day. So the 26th of August, share price fell 6.9%. And look at the share price; it has kept on dropping since then. And this is telling me the market just doesn't like this company. The market is wary. And then they released this negative trading update today. And the whole reason I'm saying it's negative is because of the market reaction. So I would expect value investors, if the share price keeps on falling, value investors becoming a little bit more interested in Endeavour Group, because with the share, even when the share price was a little bit higher than it is now, I do know some value investors who actually like this company. I didn't quite agree with them, but I do know they exist. Well, we all know value investors exist, but we know that some value investors think this company is good value at these levels. Okay, so no shock there to see Endeavour Group within that list. Sunshine Metals, no. Reese Pharmaceuticals, ethics approval for registration. Okay, let's have a look to see if the share price was rallied a little bit. So Lendlease is selling something to Stockland. Orthocell, key executives appointed to drive Remplus US sales. Share price up a little bit. Let's have a look. Something happened in Mali, according to Resolute Mining. Share price. Oh, okay. So this could have been my stock of the day. The share price decreasing like that, what's happening in Mali? Is it just the project, or is something happening in the company? Now, I have not paid attention to any news, so I'm just going to Google this one, Mali. Oh, I have heard this. Yeah, this was a podcast. I just saw a title of a podcast. I think it was I think I deleted that podcast. I didn't even listen to it. Who did it? I'm trying to remember who did it. Oh, it would have been Fear and Greed. I think it would have been Fear and Greed. And I just saw the title of that business or a mining company executive or something was charged in an African country. And it's this company, Resolute Mining CEO and executives detained in Mali. Resolute Mining loses 500 million after junta detains CEO in West Africa. Wow, what's happening here? Mining executives held captive in Africa are being looked after. Okay, so maybe this isn't something to do with the dude doing something bad. This could be just one of those African countries just going rogue and doing weird things. This is why there is a sovereign risk when you're dealing with these countries. Yeah, it's just weird things can happen. Which one will I look at? Let's have a look. In fact, I wonder if Capital Brief has this. Capital Brief should have this. I could just, is there a search function in this? I have no idea. Okay, Resolute Mining shares plunge as CEO detained in Mali. Just hoping they give us some more information about this. Resolute said executives were in Mali's capital, Bamako, to hold discussions with the mining and tax authorities regarding general activities related to Resolute's in-country business practices. Unexpectedly detained. Okay, a lot more to this story than meets the eye right now. The whole reason why the share price is down a fair bit, was at 32%, is because of uncertainty. We just don't know. The market hates uncertainty. I can completely understand why the share price is down 32.84%. We just don't know. And so a lot of participants in the market just sell and sell first and then ask questions later. Let's have a look at the chart for Resolute, because I would expect this chart to have looked pretty good before this day. Maybe a little bit of pullback in the last few days of last week. Yes, and oh, look at that. Chart was looking really good, even with this pullback at the end of last week. Chart was still looking okay, down to 45 cents. This would have been without doubt, this would have been my stock of the day. Resolute Mining. Yes. Where was I? Where's Resolute Mining here? I can't find it. There it is. Okay, so it's something about a takeover. Novonix and Stellantis signed a binding offtake agreement. I would expect Novonix share price to be up. Who knows? Could be anything from 2% to 10%. 12.5%, so a little bit off there. I'm not even going to look at that. I'm not the biggest fan of binding offtake agreements, that sort of thing. Anyway. But the chart probably looks pretty good, I'm assuming. Let's have a quick look at Novonix. Not good volume, yeah, good volume. You're not quite there yet. And the main reason is because the share price rallied and then pulled back a fair bit. So there will be a fair bit of resistance at these levels. And also you can see back in March, April, share price went on a really good rally and pulled back. So a lot of resistance still moving forward for Novonix. Okay, looking for anything else here? Getting towards the close, not the close, but getting towards the end of, or no, the start of trading, not the end of trading, start of trading. And typically you see most of the interesting announcements released before the start of trading, but not always. Sometimes you do see interesting announcements released after the start of trading. Clarity Pharmaceuticals sign MSA. What's an MSA? Up 3.9%. I have no idea what MSA is. I'm going to have to look at that later on. A company called Qube, business update and Q1 financial year 25 financial performance. This company is fairly small, educational company. I might have a look at that later, but I probably would have been that interested this morning. And that could be it. Oh, Cleanspace, that's right, the Cleanspace trading update. Let's have a look at this one. So this portion of the video has gone much longer than I expected. Let's have a look-see. This is why I do the top 5, because I, filter all the maybe not nonsense, but I filter the announcements that didn't do anything for me. That's not always the case. Sometimes even announcements that do something for me can't make it in the top 5 because so many interesting announcements have been released. This does, I did see something positive down below, but then up the top I see something negative. This is slower than expected for 3 main reasons. That's all I need to know. That's all I need to know, that this is negative. This is slower than expected for 3 main reasons. So I would expect the share price to drop. However, how low could the share price drop? Because share price of this company has dropped a lot. Yeah, down 24.5%. So you can just see, just look in the wording. You don't have to look at the numbers. This is slower than expected for 3 main reasons. It's negative. That's all I needed to read. Now, down the bottom here, there was something positive. Profitability has improved by 20%. So that's the first thing I saw, and I went, oh, this could be positive. And then the second thing I saw was, this is slower than expected. So Cleanspace, negative. And how low can she go? Is it, oh no, actually, I'm sorry, Cleanspace. The chart was starting to look a little bit interesting. But today has put a stop to that interesting of your chart. Okay, that's it for this portion of the video. Now let's have a look at the ASX today. A little bit longer that first section than I expected, and I would have come up with the top 5 stocks of the day. I think Resolute would have been number 1, Cleanspace maybe number 3, Endeavour Group might have been in there, a few of those other trading updates as well. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember them all right now, but definitely Resolute Mining, the stock of the day. Now let's have a look at the rest of the ASX. So again, resources down big, maybe gold. I actually don't know. Again, I don't know. Sectors, IT, good. Real estate, good. Materials down a lot. Staples down. Why is Staples down? Did Woolworths have a bad day again? Let's have a look. This is a little bit intriguing to me. Why is Staples down? Staples, not Stables. Staples. Oh, Treasury Wine. Oh, Endeavour Group. No. A2 Milk. Did I miss an announcement from A2 Milk? For some reason, A2M is flashing in my mind. No, change in substantial holding. Oh, yeah, 4:58 p.m. So just before I filtered it, this would have popped up. I would have seen A2 Milk T code because change in substantial holding. Okay, so interesting. The share price is down a fair bit. They're all down. Yep, you can see why it's down a fair bit. Okay, and gold. Where's gold? Not as bad as the rest of the resources. What's happened with resources? Is it iron ore? Is it oil? No, it can't be oil because energy is down 0.67%. Anyway, interesting. What we could do is have a look at materials sector, rank it by market cap, just to have a look. And straight away, we can see why resources had a horrific day. BHP down 4.1%, Fortescue down 7%, Rio Tinto down 3.1%. So iron ore had an absolutely horrific day today. Why? I have no idea. Let's have a look at the iron ore chart. It's not down that big. What's happened to iron ore today? Let's have a look at Capital Brief. Does this mention anything about iron ore? ASX retreats as iron ore miners sink. Oil stocks slide as crude prices extend declines. Let's have a look at this particular announcement. Article. The ASX ended lower after China's latest stimulus announcement weighed on iron ore prices and dragged down miners. Of course, it's stimulus, but I thought maybe stimulus would increase share prices. Champion 9 down 9.8%. That explains A2 Milk as well. Yeah, perfectly explains A2 Milk. Well, look at this. This is actually pretty good. We've talked about earnings upgrades and downgrades here. We've already talked about Endeavour Group, Incitec Pivot, and Qube. Resolute Mining, we've talked about that. This is nice little... Well, we've talked about all these companies. Genesis Metals, Stockland, Liontown Resources, Silk Logistics. Quickly had a look at Iris. Do they copy what I'm thinking before I do anything? Wow. Okay, so that's China. And that's why we've said weakness, China. Should I do the ASX 20 down 0.5%? So I would say that iron ore has just suppressed our whole market today. The whole reason we're down a fair bit is because of iron ore. If you have a look at the ASX 20, I would not be surprised to see quite a few companies up. So I'm going to say 8 up, 12 down. 13 up, 7 down. So more companies are actually up than down, yet this particular indice is down. And the whole reason behind that is because the significant drops in iron ore companies. So this is actually even better. So even though our market is down, it's just because of iron ore. I wouldn't be surprised to see my portfolio up today. I wouldn't be surprised at all. So let's have a look again. Yeah, look at that. Fortescue, BHP, Rio Tinto, all down by over 3%. Fortescue down 7%. Extraordinary. Goodman Group up. WiseTech, REA Groups, a lot of tech companies doing pretty good. Okay, so let's get to the best and worst performing companies, and then I'll stop it there for this particular video. So just having a look at any companies that might have slipped by. And there's going to be probably a few companies. Silk Logistics, up 40.82%. Nagambi Resources and Equinox Resources. So both of those I probably just went straight past. Ngambie, gold, antimony, JRC resource updated. The market liked it. Share price is fairly low, only 2 cents. So I'm a little bit wary about share prices that low. At least it's not below 1 cent. Let's have a look at the chart for Ngambie. And, it's looking like it might be consolidating, going sideways. The downtrend might have come to an end for Ngambie. Okay, and the other one was Equinox Resources. This sounds familiar. EQN, I don't know why. Up 27.3%. Share price is 21 cents. They must have released something. Oh, they released something last week. Ultra high grade, naturally occurring antimony in Altruist. That's why this company sounds familiar, because they released something on Friday. And let's have a look at the chart for Equinox. This is just sort of a continuation of a pretty good day on Friday, I'm assuming. Yes, although this is not what I expected. I expect the share price to be an uptrend. So this is a little bit different than I expected. So Equinox Resources. And anything else here? I did see Doe release something, but I don't care about that company. Nah. No, I'm not. No, I was going to look at Alltech batteries. Now let's have a look by market cap. Period. Another good day. Weebit Nano. So we're talking about tech companies. Where's the brain chip? Novonix, PointsBet. PointsBet chart's looking amazing right now. Crypto innovators up a fair bit. Did Bitcoin have a good day? And AML3D up 12.8%. And there's Alltech batteries. So let's have a look at Alltech batteries. It could just be noise. I'm just going to see if they did release anything today. No. In fact, a response to ASX price query on a Friday. What's the share price doing? Look at that. Share price of this company can be quite volatile. Up 23.9% on the 4th, and then 12% on Friday. And something must be happening with this company. Let's have a look at the chart. So what I'm looking for here is particularly the volume. Have we seen an explosion? We have. Something's happening here. Massive explosion in volume since start of October. The share price has doubled. Have they released anything? Let's have a look at the announcements. We'll go back 3 months to go to the start of October. So it looks like Alltech Serengy 60 kilowatts per hour prototype completed. That seems like was the announcement to cause a bit of excitement in this company. Now, I don't know this company at all. So that title of this announcement means nothing to me. But don't ignore how the market or what the market is saying about this company. They like what's happening with Alltech. Okay, let's turn to our attention to the top losers. Freedom Care, not surprised. I'm surprised the share price is higher than 0.0001 cents. I think I'm pretty sure I talked about Freedom Care either last week or the week before. Resolute, Cleanspace, there's Marino and Co. up and down like a yo-yo. Expon, Articore Group. Is that the old Red Bubble? I might have asked that question a few times now. Now let's have a look by market cap. I expect quite a few Chinese, not based, Chinese influence companies here. And we've definitely got that right. Fortescue, A2 Milk, Champion Iron. Iluka Resources, there's Resolute Gold or Mining. Developed Global, their chart did look interesting, but maybe not up to date, down 8.7%. Bisloy still down. Well, that's understandable because that's Chinese related, I suppose. And that's it. Anyway, I suppose what I could just do very quickly is just go through Capital Brief, just to see if I've missed something here. A2 Milk shares slump as Citi sees downside callous after China visit. Stockland shares rise on guidance upgrade. Already talked about that. HMC Capital, Endeavour Group, Novonix, Resolute Mining, Qube. These are the ones I've talked about. Silk Logistics, Endeavour, Liontown. Well, there you go. I think I have a good grasp on what has happened today. Not an absolute perfect grasp, but a pretty good grasp that I have not missed anything of significance today. Anyway, so that's it for today's video. If you have any questions, any thoughts, leave those in the comment section of this video. Otherwise, I'm not a financial advisor. If you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who's qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day. Bye.